bar was buzzing that night, alive with the kind of rowdy laughter and clinking glasses that only came when Friday rolled around and everyone was ready to drown their week in cheap beer and heavy music. The neon sign outside flickered in uneven red light, and inside, the jukebox fought against the roar of motorcycles that lined up outside the dusty parking lot. Smoke, sweat, and the sharp tang of spilled whiskey filled the air. It wasn't the kind of place where secrets usually lasted long. People came here to lose themselves, to forget, to get loud. But that night, a secret that had been hidden for years was about to rip wide open, and it would freeze every soul in the room. It began with her, Clara, the waitress. She wasn't new at the bar. Though she carried herself like someone who didn't fully belong there. She moved gracefully between tables of shouting bikers, her brown hair tied back in a messy ponytail, strands falling to frame her soft, tired face. She wore a fitted black shirt with the bar's faded logo on it, and jeans that had seen better days. But even with the dim light and the chaos around her, she stood out. Something in the way she smiled at the regulars, the way her hazel eyes softened when she leaned in to listen to their drunken stories. It was different. She wasn't hardened like most who worked this job. And though she was polite, you could tell she was always careful, always guarded. Most of the bikers respected her. She worked fast, never complained, and knew how to keep a table of rough men, laughing without giving them too much to grab onto. But every bar has the one man who takes things too far. Tonight that man was Jax, mid-40s, leather vest heavy with patches, beard scruffy and graying, tattoos crawling down both arms like vines of fire. He'd been drinking since the sun went down, his booming laugh louder than everyone else's, and his eyes kept following Clara every time she passed. At first, it was harmless, jokes that made the men around him roar, calling her sweetheart, winking too long when she poured his beer. Clara brushed it off. She had learned to play along without inviting trouble. But trouble had a way of pushing, especially when it smelled weakness. "Simon, darlin'," Jack slurred when she set down his whiskey. "Don't act like you're too good for us. You smile like you got something to hide." The men around him laughed, pounding the table, while Clara's cheeks flushed. She gave a practiced grin, the kind that didn't touch her eyes. "Just trying to keep up with all of you. Looks like you're ahead tonight." She turned to leave, but his hand shot out, catching her wrist. The bar quieted a little, as if sensing the shift. Clara froze, her tray balanced in her other hand, her body stiff. Jax leaned closer, his breath reeking of alcohol. "You keep walking around here smealing like that, making us wonder. What are you hiding, huh? Let me go." "Jax," she said softly, her voice calm but firm. "Or what?" His grin widened, meaner now. He yanked at her arm, and the tray crashed to the floor, glasses shattering like gunshots. Heads turned, the jukebox song faltering into the background of a suddenly tense silence. The bartender, a thick man with a shaved head, started to come around the counter, but Jax shoved his chair back, standing tall and blocking Clara's path. The whole bar was watching now. The regulars leaned forward, bikers whispering to one another. This was entertainment to them, a show. But Clara wasn't panicking. Her chest rose and fell with steady breaths, her eyes locked on Jax's. She wasn't pleading. She was waiting. "Let her go, Jax," someone muttered from the corner. But Jax, full of whiskey and pride, laughed. "What's she gonna do, huh? I say she's hiding something." And with one quick, reckless tug, his hand gripped the neckline of her shirt and yanked. The rip was loud. The black fabric tore open at the shoulder, and Clara gasped as the shirt fell loose. For a heartbeat, there was silence. The kind of silence that feels like the world holding its breath. Then the whole bar saw it. It wasn't what anyone expected. Across Clara's chest and shoulder, Revealed beneath the torn fabric was an intricate tattoo, dark and bold. Not the kind of tattoo you got on a drunken dare or from a back alley shop. This one was precise, symbolic. A black serpent coiled with wings, its eyes shaped like daggers, the tail forming a circle around a cross of steel. Every man in that bar froze, because they knew that mark. They had heard stories whispered about it in hushed voices on long rides. The mark of the Black Vipers, the most feared, most dangerous motorcycle brotherhood on the continent. Long thought disbanded, scattered gone. A name that still made hardened men flinch. That symbol didn't just mean membership. It meant blood oath. It meant family, loyalty, and the kind of vengeance no man dared cross. Jack stumbled back, his mouth open but no sound coming out. The color drained from his face. Around him, the laughter was gone, replaced by stunned silence. The bartender stopped in his tracks. Men who just moments before were egging Jax on now avoided looking at Clara at all, like making eye contact with her might invite death. Clara stood straight, the torn shirt slipping but her eyes blazing now. For the first time that night, she wasn't hiding. She wasn't smiling politely or pretending to fit in. She stood like someone who had walked through fire and carried the scars of it proudly. The snake curled across her skin seemed alive in the dim light, a warning and a promise. Jax tried to laugh, but it came out broken, trembling. That can't be real," he muttered, but his voice was too thin, too small. He was trying to convince himself. But everyone in that bar knew the truth. You didn't fake that mark. You didn't wear it unless you had earned it, unless you had been branded into the brotherhood itself. "Sit down," Clara said, her voice low, sharp as a blade. And to everyone's shock, Jax did. He sank back into his chair like a man who had just stared down a gun barrel. The bar remained frozen, no one daring to move. Clara adjusted her shirt with trembling hands, pulling it closed over the mark. For a moment, her eyes softened, just for herself, like the weight of years had just been dropped back onto her shoulders. She turned and walked calmly toward the back, each step echoing in the suffocating silence. No one stopped her. No one dared. But the room wasn't just frozen in fear. It was buzzing with questions. How did she have that mark? What was her story? And more dangerously, if she carried the Viper's brand, who else might be watching her? The night had started like any other. But now, every man in that bar knew they were sitting on a secret that could burn their world down. And none of them were ready for what came next.